Alrighty everybody, what is going on? It is Giga here again. I hope you're all having a fantastic, well it's Tuesday today, but I hope you're having a fantastic day regardless. Today we have a very special theme which I think is very applicable going into the first week of the web app coming into FIFA 23, and that is the most resistant market team for week 1. I kind of thought of this because I was looking at all these different team of the week predictions, and I was thinking to myself, who do I need to buy? Or who do I need to try to afford so that I can still have the most coins after the inevitable drop that everybody talks about, or everybody who has played previous Ultimate Team seasons knows about. So if you guys are interested in this, thank you so much for clicking on the video. If you please would consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. It very much helps. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into this team. I am basing a lot of this off of Team of the Week predictions. Now, that does open up a lot of variability, a lot of debate, but that's kind of the point, is let's talk about it. Let's see who we think is actually good to pick up and who's not. So I'm gonna start from the top down, and there's no particular like position, like this is not actually like a full-on team. It is just gonna be mainly, it kind of fits together, you'll see. It's mainly just 11 players that I think will do very well against the market. And so I'm gonna just put the 4-2-4 formation out here just because. So the first player that I think most people would agree with is going to get into Team of the Week 1 is none other than Heung-min Son. He got his hat trick coming on for Spurs. Thank you. Come on, you Spurs. He obviously had a Team of the Week performance. I think it's about as iconic as you could get, especially for a Team of the Week 1. So he might be one of the marquee players. If not, he's definitely the most marquee player of the Team of the Week. And so getting his gold card, if you can get it before Team of the Week comes out, which we'll see if that even happens, but if you can get it before Team of the Week comes out, it's going to be out of packs. And so because of that, the gold card will be worth exponentially more because the inform, so like for instance, if I actually look up real quick what his week 1 price was in FIFA 22. So, I'm sorry, I'm clicking on generations. I know you guys can't see this, but we can pull this up in a second here. Let me switch this over. And so, as you guys can probably see, in the first, this goes up all the way to October 20th, actually, around that time frame. He's around this 300K mark. He dips down a little bit, comes back up. For whatever reason, there might have been a Spurs player, or he might have even gotten into the Team of the Week, which made his price boost up. And then it drops down dramatically. But in the first week, so really it's this bump right here, from October 1st to October 8th, he really stayed around this 250 mark. And let's say this is like an iconic way to show that if he gets into the Team of the Week, he goes up 10% in price. Because his first inform, his 90 rated, started at 550K and was 500K all the way through the rest of October. So that just goes to show you that when the supply is low and the demand for him is high, and it typically gets, this goes for any player, but when it gets higher like that because of the sphere of FIFA works, people want the cards that everyone's talking about. So if he scores a hat trick after coming on in a game, like people are gonna want that card because people are literally just talking about it, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's kind of the mindset that we have going for some of these other players here. So I think he's almost a shoo-in, if not a shoo-in, to get into Team of the Week 1, which makes him very valuable. He's also one of the more meta left wings in especially the Premier League. He is harder to link, so that brings his price down some. But anyway, I think that he's going to do great. I think that his price is going to do really, really well. Do I know what his price is going to be coming out of the gate? No. But I think that it will be pretty resilient and could go up. Similarly, another person that I think a lot of people are talking about getting into Team of the Week based off my research is Gakpo. Again, this is not based off of like just everyone's whatchamacallit. Actually, let's do this formation. This is not based off of anything specific. It's just going off of like who I think, because of what's going to happen in the game, these prices will be pretty good. And so Gakpo is in a lot of starter teams on, if you've been watching other FIFA creators and content creators and seen starter teams from other people, he's severely underrated when it comes to being like a usable card from the Eredivisie. I think a lot of people will use it in the beginning because it will be cheap, but if he gets into Team of the Week, then his supply is going to be really low with very high demand. And so he might even be one of those cards where his price range will actually increase, and you're like, let's say you got him for 10K, right? I'm just making a number up. Let's say you got him for 10K and his price range increases to 25. And so for a little while, people are buying him for 20K because they think, oh, that's not the end of the price range. Like, he could still go up. Well, you just doubled your profit on him just for getting him for 10K, let alone anything cheaper than that. So I think he's going to be very, very good as well, similarly to the Son idea. Another person we're going to get back to is the striker, but the right wing or right mid that I really want to talk about is actually Dembele, Ousmane Dembele, if I can spell it right. Not Moussa Dembele. Ousmane Dembele. He is one of the only I should put it this way. There are very few right mids or right wings in the game right now that are super meta what I'm trying to say, and I'm pulling up the chart again. Why don't I switch this over so you guys can see what I'm talking about? But what I'm trying to go, or where I'm going with this is if we go to FIFA 23 players, and then we go to right mids or right wings and all that jazz, and then also do golds. This is obviously, we're not counting icons and all that jazz. Honestly, the two main ones are going to be Messi and Salah, right? I think they're going to be the more expensive ones, 100,000 coins, yada, yada, yada. Mahrez people will probably like, but he's not going to be super fast, so people aren't going to want to use him for forever. Sterling is pretty good. He's got 3-star weak foot, though, and so people are going to be like, eh. Nobody likes 3-star weak foot when it comes to FUT. People think it just destroys the card.
It doesn't, but they think it does.
Royce is going to be kind of like mediocre compared to other cards. Not like, I mean, first week he'll be good, but like he'll very quickly drop off. Gnabry is going to be one of those cards that I think is like a filler, like he fits and he's good. But where I'm going with this is you really have Messi, Salah, Sterling, Diaby I think will be very used. And then like, I mean, honestly, Dembele. That's about, well, you have Rafinha as well. And so because there's the Rafinha and Dembele like dichotomy, it's hard to figure out which one people want more. But because Dembele has the 5-star, and the French link, I think he's just going to be the one that soars over in price. People love the 5-star premium. And so because of that, I think that his price will be very, very resilient, especially at the beginning of the cycle. And then especially if there are any specific informs for Barcelona, because they obviously get that nice link there. And so one of the people that has also been sort of kind of predicted for Team of the Week, I don't think that he'll actually get it though, is Lewandowski. And so, you know, you could say that Lewandowski would be one of these people that people want. I think Lewandowski's card's amazing. I love it. But at the same time, people don't think it's going to be super meta because he's not super pacey. He's not the best dribbler. It's the same old song and dance. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put him off here. I made my case about Dembele, but the person who I think is going to be more resilient than Lewa, and this goes regardless of Team of the Week stuff, but is Koundé. And so I think this Koundé-Dembele linkage is very similar to like the Militao, Vinny, Mendy, like Courtois, like all that sort of stuff. I think that it's very similar in that sense. So for instance, if you put Ter Stegen in goal, they get 3 chemistry already just from that. And so basically what I'm showing you is if there's another Barcelona player in your squad, they get 3 and you're good. Just because they have the French link as well, the like hyper link, if you will. So I feel like these two, regardless of Team of the Weeks and whatnot, whether Lewa gets in, whatever, I think they're going to do super, super well in terms of price. We're going to keep going though, because I know I'm taking forever here. One card that I think is very versatile that I think will do very nicely coming into the first week or so. After the first week, I don't know. But if you're looking for a card that you probably won't lose too many coins on, and might make a few if you buy him really early, is Lamar. Lamar can go left mid, center mid, or right mid, so he's very versatile in terms of squad building. He's a center mid, he's French, or sorry, I already said center mid, but he's French, he's from Atletico, so he's got some good links there. And he can actually play defense. Like, you put an anchor on the card, and it's not half bad. It's really not. So I think Lamar's just fine. I think that he'll do the trick. One of the more expensive cards, without saying like Mbappe, like of course Mbappe's going to do well. But De Jong, I think, is one that is just going to rocket throughout most of the first month. People love the De Jong card. He also has the Netherlands link, which is very valuable this year, at least so far. He has to compete with Kessie. He has to compete with Valverde. I think that those cards, I think Valverde and De Jong are going to be the most desirable La Liga center mids. And so because of that, I think that their prices will stay pretty high, and they're from Barcelona, they're from Real Madrid. You could also put Valverde here, but I didn't just want to put like the most expensive cards in here. I just think De Jong does well like every single year. So that's my bet at least. The other card that everyone's talking about getting in is Saliba. And so Saliba, especially if he gets a featured team of the week, which means, if you guys don't know what that means, that's basically he gets 2 bumps or 2 upgrades instead of 1. So from an 80, you would go to an 83, I believe. It's either an 82 or an 83. And then if it's the 82, he would get bumped to an 84 automatically. Or if it's the 83, he would get bumped to an 85 automatically. And so getting 5 extra ratings and stats is huge. 4 is already amazing, but 5 would be insane. And so because of that, the gold card is going to be almost non-existent because people are going to be buying all of them up. And he's got the French league. He's from Arsenal. He's a meta center back for the beginning of the year. Like, I just promise you, like, this is easy money. If you can grab this card for like 3K in the beginning or 4K, he's gonna be like I can almost promise. I can't promise anything, but I will be trying to get many of this card if I can, because I think he'll be very desirable, and his price will be very good in terms of trying to sell the card. The other center back that I think goes along with Gakpo, and I think this is again because of links and because of meta, is Timber. I think Timber will be a few thousand coins. If Gakpo does get into that team of the week, I think people will want him even more. Likewise, the other person that kind of goes with this is Teze. He's even got the PSV link at that point, and so you could debate which one's going to be better and which one's not. Teze has 77 rated, Timber has 80 rated. Does that play any relationship to price? Potentially, but either one I'm sure will be half decent to get and to hold on to, and you won't lose that many coins. Going further, I know I'm trying to speed through this. I'm trying to do this the way that I need to. Another person that goes along with Teze is Windal. I can put him over here, sorry. The left back, this guy, Vindel. He's only a left back or left wing back, but I think that if you're gonna make this linkage, this 3 linkage, he's just gonna be fine on price. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is kind of like the weak link of the squad. If you really want to go with this Lamar Dembele idea, you could go Mendy as your the left back, if you will. But I think Mendy will just be pricey regardless because he's a very meta card and everybody loves him every year. And he's, his links are great. So regardless, don't worry about that one as much. The one person, or the 2 people left would be the striker and the goalkeeper. The striker for me is actually going to be Jesus. And the reason I think that Jesus would be there because he's 3 things. He's got the popularity. People are already talking about how his season's going so far. He's got the meta card, the meta links. In terms of he's Brazilian, he's from Arsenal, but he's also got a good card. And well, actually, you can make it 4 then. He's got a good card. Did I already say meta? Anyway, he's meta. He's got the links. People are talking about him. And then the 4th part is if Saliba does get into the team of the week, then people are going to try to link Saliba in case they pack him. And Jesus is the card to do with it. And so I just think that it fits. Obviously it's not like the ultra perfect link, but I think it does really well, and just everything he's got going for him, I think it works. I think it makes sense in terms of price resilience. And our final person then, honestly, is kind of difficult here. I'm putting Lloris as the card that I think is like the safest in terms of price. If I actually go to some of the prices of these guys from before, from last year, I'm gonna pull up Lloris's real quick. Let me switch this over so you guys can see. Donnarumma. Go to Generations. Honestly, I don't really like Donnarumma as much in terms of resilience. He even went down a lot. So the other reason that I'm thinking about these higher rated goalies, specifically the 87 Lloris, is because with the Player of the Month coming out, and it's Haaland, you know that some of the squads that they're going to need for it are going to be a little more expensive. And so I think that because, and I'll go back to Lloris to try to make my point. So let's say he needs an 88 rated squad. Not an 80. 88 would be kind of high. Let's say an 85 and an 87 or something like that. I don't know. But maybe an 88 at most. I think that Lloris is the kind of card that people are going to want to use, and he's like kind of sort of fodder. People don't really want to use him as a goalie. He's a little shorter in terms of game wise. You know, he's not 6'6" or whatever like Donnarumma is. And so because of that, I think that his price is pretty good. Like, I think it's not going to drop off like Donnarumma's did in that last graph we were looking at. I think it's just going to be a nice, stock investment. A nice investment that you'll make that nothing too bad will happen to it. If I go back to, and I'm going to reset that. If I go back to the squad, some of the other people that were talked about getting into Team of the Week were, and I'm switching over, were De Bruyne. And so De Bruyne would be up there with Son in that sense. And so De Bruyne would be one of those where if you bought the gold card, I'm sure that the like upgrade would be insane in terms of price. And so having the gold card would probably go up because of demand. But also you'd be looking at other players like Cancelo, Walker, sorry. You could even be looking at the goalie then, Ederson. And so we'll have to see with that one. The only other player, and I saw this very briefly in one of them, the only other player that seemed rather interesting, where was he? Sorry, I'm looking real quick. We talked about Lewandowski. We talked about all them. Was Valverde, yes. And so I don't think Valverde will actually get it. But if Valverde did get a Team of the Week, the thing that I would do is, sorry, I'm losing track of windows here. The thing that I would actually do is I would actually buy, this is if you had infinite coins, right? I would buy the gold card and I would buy the inform. That inform would be so desirable. And Team of the Week 1 always does well, at least in the beginning. So these are just some ideas. This is kind of how the market works, and at least to my understanding, I certainly could be wrong. I'm just some guy on YouTube. But I hope this gives you guys some insight in terms of if you guys have never done Ultimate Team, or if you've always wondered like what's the best way to go about what players to get at the beginning. Should I put all of my coins into it? Should I not? These are players that if I had infinite coins, I would be looking at getting into. Saliba is my number one personally. Saliba and Koundé or Dembele. But that's all I got, guys. I wish you guys all the best. I can't wait to start our stream tomorrow with the web app coming out. And until then, you can find those links below. So have a good one, y'all.